In this video, I'll be explaining how to insert a CSS style sheet into a web page you've written. You can insert CSS into a document in three ways. One way is via an external style sheet. The second way is via an internal style sheet. And thirdly is using the style attribute. So in the first example, we're using an external style sheet. What an external style sheet means is you create a separate file for your style sheet code. The advantage of this way is that you can change the style of more than one page just by changing that one file. So syntax is the rel equals to style sheet type equals to text dash CSS, and the hyperreference link is equal to the file name of your style sheet. It should end in CSS. So here I've written that. And as before, you can use this link for as many pages as you want, and single change to the style sheet will affect all of them. So secondly, you can also write the CSS inside of a style tag, which is the second example. And typically you do this if the style sheet is unique to this particular page. And lastly, you can also include the CSS of one element inside of a style attribute. The CSS there can be any property and any number of properties. I generally, though, don't recommend using it because it makes your code hard to manage. And before moving on, there are two final tips I think you should keep in mind. Number one is a later CSS property will override a previous setting. What this means is, let's say, right, I set some tag, say H1, I set the color of the font to green, and I later set the H1's font color to blue later. What happens in this case is the later set attribute will override the earlier set attribute. And lastly, although this almost never matters, but if you include an external style sheet, internal style sheet, and a style attribute, the one that will prevail, the one that will override the other ones in case of a conflict, is the style attribute. Anyways, that finishes this video. Thank you for watching. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask me, and I'll see you later.